go through it?
Jam on toast!
Hey everybody, welcome to the Jam. Today's toast to How to Train Your Dragon. I'm Kam Wright, this is John.
What's going on, guys?
Who are you?
Faith.
Who are you?
Chilies.
What are you eating?
Ice cream.
So the short sale on this one is that a Viking kid in a village that gets attacked by dragons all the time actually befriends a dragon, and they go from there.
But the only way he befriends this dragon is because he tries to attack the dragon in the first place, because this kid is a brilliant engineer for this Viking time. And so he ends up messing stuff up by trying to engineer stuff to make things better, which causes him to hurt this Night Fury dragon that nobody has ever seen before. And then he follows it, finds it, and becomes friends.
My love for this one's got to be anything with Hiccup and Toothless. They just interact so well. Achilles, what was your favorite part?
When Hiccup got scared by a dragon.
You got scared by dragons lots, didn't he?
Yeah.
Okay. Sydney, what's your favorite part?
My favorite part is when he first met Toothless and they became friends, and how he engineered all this stuff and stuff.
Okay.
See, your favorite part is exactly everything that I just said.
John, what was your favorite part?
My favorite part will have to be all the interactions between Hiccup and his little girlfriend. Because it's just hilarious how, in today's society it's the same way. Girls are always beating up on the boys just because they like them.
My hate would have to be just the interaction between father and son with Hiccup and his dad. There's points where he's listening to him, but he only listens to what he wants to hear, and while it's representative, I just didn't like it very much. Achilles, what about you?
The first part of the movie when he gets scared by the Night Fury.
Okay. Okay. Sydney?
My hate part was when the dragon got eaten by the bigger dragon.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Alright, I would have to say, my most thing that bothered me about this movie is that towards the end, they are at sea, and they go into this huge black cloud of, and nobody else is worried about anything else except for these two dragons that are flying in there. But hey, guess what? A huge hurricane's coming, and we have no boats to get home.
They're Vikings, they can swim, I'm sure. But no,
What?
that's it. It's a really good one.
They got dragons.
You only have dragons for so long.
Sorry. I'm just trying to picture them all trying to catch dragons to ride home.
Exactly. They didn't befriend all the dragons, and most of them left.
For MVP, I'd have to say Toothless. I really think that's the character that made the movie, and if you want to argue it's a dragon and not a character, then boo on you. Who's your favorite character in the movie?
It's the guy that made Hiccup's leg when it got cut off.
The guy with the rock in his tooth?
Yes.
Okay. Sydney?
I have to say that it's Hiccup.
Hiccup? You like Hiccup the most? You thought he brought the most to the movie? Okay.
I have to say, I have to agree with you. It has to be the Night Fury. And if they do want to say, oh, it's a dragon, it doesn't matter. He is what makes that entire movie happen. If it wasn't for, Toothless, there would be no movie.
And you, because of the movie, and you're absolutely right, there would be no movie. You can't just take it out. You'd have to replace it with another dragon of some kind. I don't think it would be nearly as strong if you didn't have that dragon.
No, because none of the dragons that were there are slick enough or designed just perfect enough to have that puppy dog look, and still be furious and just be like poof, shoot fire in your mouth.
Lightning. That was the cool part. There was that Toothless shot lightning.
Into the little dragon.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
It was funny.
Now on to the categories. Aesthetics. I think this movie looks really good. It's very well done CG animation by DreamWorks, and I think they've just gotten better with time. But other than Toothless, I didn't really like the styles the dragons were done in. Very awkward and non-contiguous. It does take me out of it just a teeny tiny bit. But Kelly, so what did you think about how the movie looked?
It looked pretty good to me.
Yeah? Sydney?
I liked how, like, the dragons and the people looked. And the background.
Okay.
Okay, it's the animation.
So you do like how they look, the style, yeah.
I definitely have to say I have to give DreamWorks amazing props because when you look at the clarity of their water that they had going on in the oceans, along with the rest of the CG that they had there, amazing detail. I do agree some of the dragons could have been a lot better, but they did a lot of amazing detail with the surrounding and the environment itself.
Yeah, and that's an excellent point. I usually forget about stuff like that. Water animation is no joke at all. It was a huge thing when Pixar first did it for Finding Nemo.
Yes.
On that scale, and I'm still impressed. Aesthetics gets a 90.
Aesthetics gets a 95.
Character development. I think we got a lot out of character development, but not necessarily with the people. It's very clear right off the bat that Hiccup and his dad don't get along well, what the relationship between Hiccup and Rocktooth guy was, and how the village and the other kids deal with them. It's very clear from the start. And we don't get a lot, but we learn a lot about the dragons, even if we don't get a lot of exposition that the movie really needed. Achilles, what do you think about the characters?
That they make good movements.
Good movements? Okay. Sydney?
I thought about the characters, how they looked. They looked, like, great, and how, like, their actions were good, too.
Okay. John? Okay. Developing wise, you definitely find out early on that, about Hiccup and his father, but you don't really see any other real reactions with anybody else in this town except for, I hate dragons, everybody hates him, everybody loves him, they're all like followers, nobody else really has their own opinion about anything except for, like, mainly 4 characters in that entire movie, which would be Hiccup's dad, the Rocktooth guy, Hiccup himself, and the girl. Astrid, yes. Those are the only 4 main people that have their own opinions and have their own building up for any type of characteristics.
And I agree with you but you bring up an excellent point, because if you look at the village as a whole, they're just parts of that. That's what they've done for their entire life, it's all they know, and it takes exceptional characters to think for themselves and cause change.
Very true. Especially in that time period.
Yeah, because, if it was a real thing, it would have been set like back before Scotland and when everything was ever settled by Vikings.
Yeah.
Character development gets an 88.
Character development gets a 70.
Storyline. I think the story itself is not the strongest, probably because we don't get the exposition I think we really need to explain the background of everything. But if I just told you, like, hey, there's dragons, immediately it catches your interest, and you go through with Hiccup and his dad, and Hiccup and Astrid, and Hiccup and Toothless, and there's a lot of good interaction there. It's just the general storyline's a little weak, because you've got to almost force it to go to Dragon Island for that fight. Achilles, what did you think of the story?
Pretty good.
Pretty good? Sydney?
What I thought about the story is it's like this detailed and all this other stuff. Like, it's detailed.
Yeah,
and
okay.
you actually can get into the story. And if you have the storybook, you can actually get into it.
You own a storybook? Like,
He does.
oh, okay.
Okay. I have to agree. I think the storyline is weak itself, especially being as a children's movie. You would think that there was a lot more lessons to be learned or more to bring out of the movie besides, your parents aren't always right. Those aren't the things that I think that as children should be watching this and should be pulling off the storyline. I don't think that that's something that should be brought into it. They should be, follow what your parents say, do what your parents say. It's just, it
The movie
could have
actually
been a
counters
lot.
that. It really says don't listen to your parents, think for yourself and make your own decisions.
Yes,
Okay.
it does counter exactly that. But then again, it also portrays that parents will never listen to their children, which is never true, or is not true also.
Okay.
So, the storyline definitely has its weak points, but it makes for a great show for children to watch.
Okay. Yeah, and I agree. Storyline gets a 70.
Storyline gets a 65.
Compulsion. But that leads into a great point about how this is designed for kids, and it's about dragons. So that's what the drawing point is. It's not supposed to be an epic story to last all time. It's supposed to be a great artwork for dragons and watching them breathe fire. Kelly, how did you like the movie?
It was good. I especially liked it detailed.
Okay, Sydney?
I think the movie was great and awesome. Some kids should actually watch this movie.
Okay, we're getting there.
Okay. Like I said, like I was saying, it has its good points, it has its bad points. It definitely is something for them to watch and keep them interactive and keep their attention drawn to the TV screen. That's about as far as it goes. It'll keep you entertained.
Compulsion gets a 90.
Compulsion gets a 95.
Now, if you total all that up, you get an average of 84.5.
When you average all that up, you get an 81.25.
Now, if you average both those out, it gives you an 82.75. I'm going to keep this short, but for my wrap-up review, I'm going to have to say this is one I recommend everybody watch, and if you like it, watch it repeatedly. If you don't, give it away as a gift, because everyone should like this movie, and I'll be very surprised if I find anyone who doesn't. John, what do you think?
I definitely agree with you. It's something that everyone should definitely watch at least once. And like you're saying, give it to as a gift if you don't like it, which I highly doubt you'll find anyone who does not like this movie. It is so well put together that everyone will like to watch this movie.
Yeah, maybe if you have an aversion to reptiles or something, but
Maybe.
even then, you probably have kids or a husband or wife or someone that would like to watch it with you. Alright, that's pretty much all we got for you today. I'm Cameron.
I'm John.
And we're Faith and Achilles!
Have a nice day.